Peace be with you. As human beings, we all experience emotions. And one of the basic survival tools that every human being should have is emotional control. Unfortunately, many of us don't have this, and it is a very difficult skill to acquire. It is still a learned behavior. It can be learned, but it's very, very difficult. And a lot of times people neglect trying to achieve this because they don't have a religious dedication to trying to achieve something like this, and they ultimately suffer in long term. Emotional control is one of the things that God tells us in the Quran that we should be able to develop and within our own life. For example, in the 3rd chapter of the Quran, verse 133, God tells us, "And hurry toward the forgiveness of your Lord, and the gardens, the expanse of which is heavens and the earth, and your Lord has prepared them for those who are careful of their duty. Those who give in prosperity and adversity, and suppress anger and forgive people, and your Lord loves the doers of good." So being able to suppress anger is emotional control, and that is what we should all be able to do eventually. But to be able to do this, you have to train it. So you have to train it like you studied at school, and you have to train it like you trained for soccer or boxing or jiu-jitsu or whatever other sport that requires constant repetition and constant attempts to be able to achieve something like this. But to even start, you have to be aware that this is what you need, and all of us need this. Lack of emotional control is always bad. It always can manifest itself in a very bad way, even if you talk about beautiful emotions such as love. Addiction is simply love of a drug. You love the drug so much that you can't stop seeking it and using it. Addiction is a pursuit, uncontrolled pursuit of pleasure. The way we manifest emotions also depends on context, whether it's good or bad. So, for example, excessive love for a child, right? A purely positive thing to love your children, but if you excessively love them and you don't check that love and you do everything for them and you don't prepare them for this world, or you spoil them and make them into these very entitled creatures, then you did not help them at all. So your love, even though you thought you were doing a positive thing, you actually hurt your kids. Same thing goes for fear. Normal amounts of fear will prevent you from doing stupid things, from hurting yourself or hurting others. But excessive amounts of fear will paralyze you and make you useless. Anger is a useful emotion. When people are oppressed, it can move you to help to overcome fear and help somebody that's oppressed. But if you direct it at those from whom you experience no consequences because they love you, like your parents or something, and you allow your anger to run unchecked there, then it is a negative emotion. So everything, every human experience, every human emotion is only useful within a certain framework, and that is essentially what God teaches us. You have to train yourself to try to develop these things within a certain framework, and that's very difficult. Now, for some people, fear is their problem. For some people, it's anger. For me, it's anger. For others, it's love, and so on. So everybody has a problem with emotional control, and everyone, I think you should be teaching kids emotional control from the very early age, but it's problematic to do that because most of us now, modern human beings, were never really taught how to achieve emotional control, and we have neglected God, and we have neglected what God is trying to teach us, so we have not practiced in this manner, and we don't even have it. So how can we teach it to somebody else? But as far as mental health is concerned and our interaction with our loved ones and our quality of life, emotional control is probably one of the most essential tools that we should seek to develop. We need this to have a good quality of life. Peace be with you.